It is people, political opponents of UDP, that are using the police for their own political agenda, for their own political purpose, and then getting them arrested, our supporters. The statement that Mr. Sabali was alleged to have made was made on about the 7th of September. This was in Facebook, all over the world, all over. If the police cared, if the police felt that Mr. Sabali had committed an offense, he would have been arrested on the 7th, if not the 7th, at least on the 8th. Wouldn't have been on the prompting of Usman Rambo Jada. But if they do act on the prompting of the political, let me if I might say so, the allies of their political masters, if they acted on their promptings and arrest is effected, what you're complaining about is sin. Is there any need to keep the person over again? Because you keep arrestees in detention to enable you carry out investigations. Now, what Mosabuli Saleh to have said is written. There is no further investigation. If that is the crime, you already have the evidence there. What do you have to hold him for? If you have a case, you take him to court. If what he said violates or infringes any of the provisions of the criminal code, you do not need any further investigations. Because all that was saying that the PIU brutalizes the opposition, oppresses them. In fact, yesterday it happened at Kairaba. When some of our supporters went there to see Mr. Sabali, a group of paramilitary officers or the the police intervention unit personnel came, and instead of the civil police that they should be, they were approaching and talking to people, in a way that we expect from Gambians, and started harassing them, beating them. And in fact, there was a lady, Ajabinta Jabi, she was malhandled. People were being beaten in their cars. People running to enter their cars so that they could drive out. But that was absolute evidence of how the PIU was brutalizing opposition people here. But if you say that, as I have done so, I have now said that they do so, what is the crime? What provisions of the law have been offended? Have you one infringed? But what you have seen is very reminiscent of the Jammeh era. The security, in fact, in the Jammeh era, UDP's whole problem, our entire engagement, we are never with the APRs as a party or the APRs militant. It was between UDP and the security. And now, the same thing is happening between UDP and the security. And I had earlier on, some time ago, said, look, we expect the security forces of this country to really treat us as Gambians, that we believe that they are the people that we should be working with, and they are the people that we will be working with when we come into government. So our relationship should be harmonious. We shouldn't, in our own quest to really get to political power, the security should not really be an obstacle to us. They should be friendly to us, just as they are friendly to any other thing. But that does not mean that if any UDP supporter or any UDP member commits a crime, he should not really be arrested. What we say is that you are arrested and be treated according to the procedures laid down by the law. What further evidence do the security want in respect of those Facebook postings by Mr. Darboe, by Mr. Sabali? What offense has he committed? But as I said, these are things reminiscent of the Jammeh era. Since the 70s was in the circulating in the social media, or all those who are friends of Sabali have seen them. Why do you wait until Friday evening and ask Mr. Sabali to go to the police? These were the sort of things that were happening in Jammeh's time. And of course, Bayo Sonko was also arrested, taken to Kairaba, separated from Sabali. These were the things that were happening in Jammeh's era. So all those things that were happening in Jammeh's era, we are having them now. And that is because those people who were at the helm, or at least in senior positions in the security in Jammeh's era, are the people who are still at the heads of this security institution. They know nothing other than what used to happen in Jammeh's era. They know of no other procedure. Those ones who are law-abiding, they are stigmatized as opposition because they want to see that things are done according to law. They taint them and say you are opposition. And of course, in the Gambia today, when anybody is branded as opposition, it means it's UDP, no other party. If they want to refer to another party, they will say the name straight away. But it's only UDP that is taking us the opposition in this country, and we are glad and happy about that. Now, what we are saying is that the arrest of Modi Sabali was not really done in order to enforce any provision of the criminal law. It was not an arrest done in good faith. It was an arrest actuated by malice. It was an arrest solely intended to provoke Mr. Sabali. And if you remember, some time ago, when Mr. Sabali was arrested, it coincided with another incident of great national concern to everyone. That was when it was announced that there are people who wanted to stage a coup. That arrest was at the same time. Now again, you have this tragic incident taking place in the Gambia, arresting him. That is intended to provoke some elements of the society, but we will never be provoked. We will never be provoked. We'll show you that what you are planning or what you really you look into doing, UDP will not fall in for it. But we will say this, that when Mr. Sabali said that the PIU under Pata Jallo is used to brutalize, we have seen the evidence of it. At least we have seen the evidence of the PIU brutalizing people. We have Fatou Mbodj, who was arrested by my residents and brutalized by the PIU. So the PIU has in fact established bad name for itself. Has established bad name for itself in the country. And I think it is time that the PIU cleanses itself. The PIU takes itself to the laundry and makes itself clean by building a reputation that is, that the Gambian people, will feel that we are satisfied that these are people who deserve to be in our uniform. These are people who do not brutalize our citizens. They have a burden to do that. And certainly, I challenge the leadership of not only the PIU, but even the Gambia Police Force, because the PIU is part of the Gambia Police Force, that you should be engaging in reputational building rather than really doing things that will undermine your reputation. that will do things that will continue to taint you. There's nothing that anybody can conclude other than this being a politically motivated arrest. An arrest intended to silence Modi Sabali. But of course, you know, Modi Sabali is like several leaders in the UDP. You can incarcerate us, but you cannot stop us talking. Because the ideas that we stand for, even if you incarcerate us, those ideas continue to float in the streets. And the people will talk. We know that these 72 hours that the law Constitution talks of is abused. And we also know, or let me say, I know, as a matter of fact, that if you rely on a legal position to do certain acts, which is wrongful in the eyes of people, you must be able to show that act was done in utter good faith. It was not done as an abuse of power. And this is certainly one of abuse of power. Gentlemen of the press, it's that we should call you and put forward our case and to say that we condemn the use of Yahya Jammeh's playbook in the run of this country. And that is being done every day when there is no regard for the rule of law. Because regard for the rule of law means really enforcing the law in good faith, not when you use it in order to score points that are either immoral or points that are really intended to stifle and weaken your opponents. So our lawyers have gone to see Mr. Sabali. He's in the best of spirits because I don't think it could make any of us to break him down can ever succeed. He's in the best of spirits, and his family are also in the best of spirit because they realize and know that the cause that Mr. Sabali is pursuing in this country is a just cause, and being a just cause, they are in high spirit and they are proud that Mr. Sabali, his sufferings is all for the good of this country. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, I thank you all for your attention.
Thank you very much, Secretary General and Party Leader. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, it's time for the usual Q&A after the Secretary General's statement. Please identify yourself and please ask your question in any of our languages, that is English, Mandinka, Wolof, Fula, and Jola. Of course, we may have to find translators to help us with some of those languages. Yes, sir.
I would like to ask in the Mandinka. I am Fadera Adama from Home Digital FM and Lembeke TV. Ndala Fajirika, Romekala, Ndata Fajirila Jirika. I stayed on Odo for Jam, Walla Nindiko, Wate Ka, UDP ning security. I don't know what sort of jump and security do for sort of parallel. Many from video, you come for UDP. Lafta Kalum because you go UDP in security for Alio Koyan, Ali stepped up Koyan Dolova, and the video in the police only investigate can for any report the Alabang, our parallel side. Ning report Mandi, Munema stand as at now. Second question over Kalaman, the last question to Ladama, because more sharing, willing in the Allah Molbe Moto scientific. Moneba Motora will finally go to new quarter. Ning, Wato Mialan Koyanta will college, Nuasida Tambida, while a new parade of Kobe Kid in Lab will a particular stand on it.
No, I think we'll just move all the mics there. Let's move all the mics there.
So I apologize, I thought with this it was loud enough, I'm sorry. Oh, but you want to have it here, yeah? Very well. But, the mentioning car, Tonya Mbele je video to, o police on mele alon ka foko paralo, mele alon ka foko, ye manya like kumalfo, manjiki na security officers lulu. This manya menke and it's got common for. Actually, to complain tala but many action tala jeto. One of Inspector General of Police Ababulu, Adiata Nyame, Ayatonya. But Minko the one Kabako, or the manya menke, Moma Jiki, Kabako Mosna na uniform okono. Your manyake, the following day you will go and get your uniform. Woman Mandikla one Kabako, Inspector General of Police at appropriate action tala, appropriate action tala. In fact, Haklo Bakang, Namira, the National Assembly, the National Assembly, Inspector General Ningam, and Honorable Mental Signing, no support to take money, book water. But where I tell the Cavaco, commented, look, Nahaji, Opposition or Domo, near Memphis, one of them. I do one of them in the handicap Cavaco, B. Handing police or more for Silamam para more for UDP Golgono, 0. Kokula Tekalaja. Interami wrote all of them. By Manko Kayadoto, Nakavako, at Contantale. Kayinke, Arivana, the Belavakana Kake. Nemo Yofo. Alvita Alpha Yabola, Elacoro, the Makan come for the Kakondem. Emo Mari Kulu. Well, Celsi never Kavako, Anya UDP call far. O who's coming at an Olu, Nakoda Bundada, who will let the police or the Mayaka. Now, Elijah Yanka
yes, Allah Molmenia.
Well, okay, Namol Melaka Yamuka, but Eco Membambulu, Wallon, it can call 72 hours, 72 hours in the blue, no 72 hours as Sparta. Nyanda tara dame mitajeto ikoni ya judge bakala mumba na makala ya judge of course bitala ke defend gana tara ke defend because already mwana nyame two lawyers started to be kama Moskata Musa Badia started to be and Mr. Sonko Fanang lawyers not out of Nigeria, so we are preparing for it.
Mr. John?
This oblige on Jollof News.
Mr. John, can you please?
Yeah, Freedom Newspaper, Associated Press, and Yorbi. It is a Senegalese newspaper. Well, Senegalese daily newspaper, Yorbi. Jollof News, Freedom Newspaper, and Associated Press. Well, yesterday you put out a statement, a very strong statement, making it very clear that the government is weaponizing the Sukuta Jabang shootings against the United Democratic Party. What do you think really have dragged the Gambian government to opt weaponizing this incident against the leading political party in the Gambia?
As I have said, we do not want this press conference to be dealing with that case, which is under investigations. Rather, we have made our stand very clear that the falsehood that was peddled by Ibrahim Sankare was really trying to tarnish the image of the UDP and to say that this gentleman was an employee of Brikama Area Council, and the people who control the staff of Brikama Area Council have categorically stated that this gentleman does not work for them. In fact, yesterday, I think what I heard maybe somebody at the briefing was that this man was a part of the rebel group, in Casamas. So, but I do not want to delve into that. I want to really keep away discussing that issue. We have come out to our press release to say that it was an irresponsible statement, and we in fact expect the Inspector General of Police or his deputy or his delegate or members of the investigating team to be making any updates, not government spokesman. It's not within his province. It was just, a blatant self-arrogation of authority, and nobody dared to really check him out. But I think sensible people, have checked him out, that he couldn't do that, and he shouldn't really do that. And that is why yesterday the responsible people who are in charge of this matter went out and made statement on them, and that is the right thing. We hope that this gentleman will know the limits of his remit and not get himself involved in matters that do not concern his office at all.
Thank you very much, Mr. Darboe, for that wonderful statement.
I'm not officer. I'm not officer.
Mr. Darboe, I'm a Jarama of the Standard newspaper. Okay, what action are you going to take for those who are associating this incident to your party? What legal action are you going to take against them?
Well, I cannot tell you what legal action we're going to take. I think that will depend on the advice given to us by our legal advisors. I can tell you something for nothing. I have already started consulting lawyers about the outrageous statement made by Rambo Jatta that I am an accomplice in this matter. I have started consultation with lawyers on that, and they'll give me the advice what to do next. I can tell you that.
Bakari Kamara from Kamaraba Official. His Excellency, ye patio le nyatun kaya, me alonko bi, kulebe kerem banko kang ye la patio dingolu tumi o kol kono e dole muta. Bari mem fanam bebe kering mole mem mira, e la patio dingon jama kam fundindi audiol to, wala nyindi ko parendrol ning sim fanyal lebe takang kaje ko ke la patio dandi wolon ka ban protocol la nyum banko kang. Foyte amira ko itela patio kukele men sati na nyum patio banno nyum banko ka.
Well, follow lafta nyum follow ka foko iman na mo muta iman na pati di muta ka foko nyum kol melkata iba konole go man soto. So really that's nimem fana yofo is misinformation. So that should be made clear. And for nil mo la fay laftale pour kan na patio ka ban fofu ka ban ban o fana mam fem lon woto nimma ya evidence to ya natinya nimma ya evidence to ya natinya nga evidence to ya natinya den nsin fangad bawo man ko kan fonko fankatan kurto o kam akamone sale So ya fankan then we can guard ourselves. But now, as far as I'm concerned, mang anything je, ngalo na kafoko, member caring, some overzealous politicians nyolo. Of course, one man love UDP la. Ya lo ngapati odo ngong koy be fanyan la ko kandio. Foi bang. Ya lo bari nsabu kunte fem fola kafoko ning ye ko be mballa be nyine kala mo ma ko be mballa so mo na namba fula ko ni mbal ko be nyine kala mo na namba fula it doesn't arise at all. Yes. There's somebody behind there.
Your name and where you come.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Mariama Esise. I am from Jamano Media and Products. My question is, BIU brutalization is becoming very common whenever UDP party have a dispute with the current government. And there is a rumor circulating which someone trying to associate UDP to the September 12th incident. What action will UDP take against this kind of things? Whenever something happens in the country, they try to associate it with UDP. What kind of action will UDP take? Thank you.
Well, let me say that as far as I know, no investigator has called on any member of the UDP for me to be able to say that somebody is associating UDP with it. If irresponsible people, and I say irresponsible people, go on their loose talks, I mean, a person as responsible as myself and a party as responsible as UDP will not respond to those loose talks. Please, you will not respond to those loose talks at all.
The ladies are speaking now. Welcome.
It's kind of the same question with this one. Sorry, my name is Usainu Dawa. I'm a reporter from
Usainu Dawa. Thank you. I'm happy with that. I'm happy for that.
Yes. My name is Usainu from the Digest News. Like this one said, like you said in your speech, Mamadou Sabe have been associated with such a thing. First, it was the coup, and now this incident. What are you doing as a party leader to put a stop to this?
What I have said quite clearly is that Most Sabali is not associated with this incident. Nobody has linked him with this incident. What I'm just saying, my grouse is that was it in December when there was this foil coup, people are talking about that and then arrested Most Sabali. You have this incident and then arrested Most Sabali. And that is fanning speculations. That was Most Sabali part of it. They didn't know anything about it. And of course, the first time, everybody was really shocked when the statement they said prompted them to arrest Most Sabali in Bebanko Talale. I mean, found that it's not anything that runs contrary to the law. And in fact, Namaranga Banko Tale. It be Nabanko Tale. A man of Jumari Babalanola. We have 15,000 votes more than NPP. So Nabanko Tale. And that is what Mr. Sabal was referring to. And this one also is close to this incident. Yeah? And then people have, peddling information or speculating that Most Sabal might have been arrested in connection with it. But as far as I know, he has been arrested or was invited for questioning for saying that the PIU brutalizes and oppresses UDP. That is what he has been called in for questioning. And if that is against the law, you don't need any further investigation. You have the evidence there, written. It's not that hearsay. You have it there written. Take him to court if you are really enforcing the law in good faith. If you are not using the law to suppress your opponents. If you are not doing what Karl Marx said, that the law is in the hands of the authority to suppress the lumpen proletariats. And that is what is happening.
Please, your name and where you
come. Good evening, Honorable Darboe, the party leader, United Democratic Party. My name is Alaji Chanaswari from the Fatu Network. Over 2 decades, your party suffered in terms of military security brutality, and also having linked to freedom of expressions, where some expressions might go against the will of the government. How do you intend to address some of these issues, especially that has to do with freedom of expressions, where we've seen at least 2 of your party members invited for questioning, and this has happened over the years too?
Well, I'm happy you acknowledge that over the past 2 decades, UDP has been the subject of maybe police brutality, that we have been a subject of harassment and so forth. And we have always resorted to law because UDP is a party that believes in law. It's UDP that believes in constitutionalism. It's a party that really believes that anything that runs contrary to the laws of the country is inimical to the stability of this country. So we are always going to pursue the legal path. And we'll pursue the legal path until government tells us that no, you cannot really pursue and get legal remedy. Then we'll sit back and think. But then what we'll do every day is to remind the Inspector General of Police and all officers serving under him, the Chief of Defense Staff, in fact, all government institutions, ministers, the President, everybody, that the never again mantra is not for nothing. It's a reminder of those dark days. And when we believe that we have gone out of those dark days, we are getting into darker days. And that never again should be a reminder to everybody. And that those people who are behaving this way may one day face a commission, and they will stand and they will sit in the front of television cameras embarrassed when they are asked, have you forgotten TRRC's mantra, never again? Why did you do the same thing that was being done in Jammeh's era? Then, I hope they'll have an answer for it. But we believe in rule of law, and everything that we'll do will be according to law. And let me tell you, nobody is going to provoke us to do anything that is untoward, except if what happened when Solo Sanden was killed, we will not consider any law. We will go out and seek remedy, because if any government that does that, because we believe that government have a right to arrest anybody, but you do not have a right to torture anybody to death. If Barrow government does that, if I will do worse than what we did in Jammeh's time. Oh yes, we will not that kind of compromise. We believe in the rule of law, but if you, the government, go out and kill our people, now we'll certainly react, and of course we'll do that. Yeah.
GAM-TV.
Assalamu alaikum. I would like to ask my question in Wolof. Honorable, dila ndokale rek saa su ne ñu gis ne jamono ji nag Facebook bi mu ngi jax inil UDP bàyyil UDP sa supporters yu bari seen xol a ngi tooy mu ngi fees parce que ñu ngi bugg a associé yéena ak li nga xam ne moo nekk yi fi police bi yow looy wax sa supporters yi moo especially ñi nga xam ne nekkun si Gambia ñu ngi bitim réew nit mun na moo toog nag am lu ko métti toog si internet di wax naka nga gisee jamono Adama Barrow mi nga xam ne moom moo nekk président si wàllum security ndax Gambia fu mu nekk nii secure na ndax secure wut parce que ndaw yu bari ñu ngi bind si internet bi di wax ne lu mel ni su xewee si police kon dina mën a xew si ku ne beneen question bi nag moo nekk ne noo gisee yëfi police bi dëgg la ñaari police génn neen àdduna mu nekk lu métti waaye tamit ñu ne su nekkoon ne tey keneen la laaloon tey doo gis ni nga xam ne noonu leen si farloo ñu farloo si naka nga gisee lii within 2 days ñu mun a jàppa ki nga xam ne moom leen suspect.
Well, ma njëkkee sa question bu mujjee bi good question waaye su fekkee ñaari civilians rey nañ leen in the manner in which these 2 people were killed, yaakaar naa ne police yi dinañ ci taxaw dinañ ci farlu def li leen war yaakaar naa ko goma ne action bi jël den ko jël because ñi dee police lañu yaakaar naa ne swift action bi jël den ko jël pour ne am na ku yaaxal waa réew mi te ñun suñ liggéey la pour gis ne ku def jëf ju ñaaw ji ñu trace ko ñu jàppa ko ñu teg ko ci kanami loi so goma ne daal affaire being a police officer or not being a police officer has anything to do loolu la foog has anything to do with this de su fekkee na police yi loolu leen motivate den naa ne loolu du nekk yoon waaye bangoma loolu now about small supporters ci in the diaspora lu ma leen di wax mooy ne 22 years under Jammeh moo gënoon a difficult so stand bi njëloon